Very good morning, Foreign Minister, Mr. Valsts. I'm very glad to be back. Last year I was here with you in the StratCom Dialogue for the concluding remarks. This year, thanks, they have upgraded me to introductory remarks. They gave me 3 or 4 minutes and they called it keynote speech. And I was also told that it's going to be followed by some questions and answers. But seriously, it's great to be back, and I want to thank all of you for being here. Those who are here frequent comers and also those who are newcomers. I find Riga StratCom Dialogue as very inspiring, thought-provoking exercises. But then, when I was preparing this keynote speech, as they call, I was looking back where we were in year 2024, where we are now in 2025. And frankly, not much has changed, and a lot has changed at the same time. If you look at the geopolitical environment and realities, Ukraine keeps fighting. And we see that Russia gets more and more aggressive. Russia feels that it's winning this war. And in politics and in international relations, sometimes not realities but perceptions matter. And in the strategic communications, I think you as professionals, you are as those who work with those issues, know that perceptions in 21st century matter a lot. Europe and NATO is still coming to terms with the understanding that the kind of free riding is over and that we need to substantially increase our defense spending, that we are not talking only about percentages, but we are also talking about the lack of key capabilities. And we are now only 2 weeks from NATO summit in The Hague. My expectation from NATO summit would be, from strategic communications point of view, that this is the summit of unity, of very strong message that the alliance is as strong as ever, and it actually gets stronger. And number 2 expectation would be from NATO summit that we make this decision about spending 5% of GDP for defense. It's not going to be easy. There are many pressing challenges also in this country. We have demography, we have health care, we have social security, we have education, we have many pressing challenges, but the government and the parliament understand that spending on defense, spending 5% already next year is a key priority. And we also understand that we don't have much time to increase also our capabilities to reach also those NATO capability targets that have been agreed by the alliance. And we also very much hope that in The Hague, all those countries that are now talking about 2%, they are going to change their mind, and that we are going to make a decision about more spending, but also about more capabilities. Also, as we speak, we do see that there are all challenges like hybrid warfare, migration being used as hybrid warfare instrument, strategic communications, disinformation campaigns, social media campaigns, electoral interferences. All those are old news actually. But we also see that there are new challenges as we speak. One that we have seen in the Baltic Sea area is the protection of the underwater cables, underwater infrastructure. What we have seen also is that, as Gatis already noted, artificial intelligence is both great opportunities, but also great risks and challenges. And we are also in the race in this sphere as well. Another thing that is very important, and it's not only about NATO summit in The Hague, but it's also about the Western world, the democratic world as we speak, is how we continue supporting Ukraine. How we keep up those promises that we have made in the last year, in Washington summit, where we have promised air defense, more ammunition, and also assistance in drone capabilities. Those are three things that President Zelensky noted when we met in Vilnius last week as Bucharest 9 and Nordic leaders. We are also seeing that we need to reaffirm in that or another form that Ukraine's future is not only in the European Union but also in NATO. We all understand that at this point there are differences in the alliance, but at the same time the Bucharest Declaration of 2008 stands. And what we need to do is to find ways how we can support Ukraine, how we can increase our support to Ukraine when it's fighting, but also how we can win this war of narratives. Because if we fail to reaffirm that in The Hague, then actually we are going to see another campaign by Russia saying that West is united. There are ways how to address this issue, and I'm sure that we will be able to do that. As my time for the keynote speech is over, I will not talk about artificial intelligence, IT. You are much smarter than I am. But I just want to wish you all productive 2 days, productive discussions, and hope that they are going to invite me back next year as well. I don't know where they are going to put me, probably for some night owl session for those people who are still awake.
Well, thank you, President. I should say that, in fact, it's not the length, but the quality of the speech that makes it to the keynote.
High quality speech.
Thank you. So, as President indicated, a few questions we start with, but of course I'll use the privilege of the host to kick off with the first one. And as you said in your points, that perception is becoming one of the key things in this battlefield of the 21st century. Yet it strikes me that when we speak about defense spending and we increase it, an average tank costs about 2-3 million, depends on which type of specification you go for. An AI lab that was just decided to be funded by Latvia in the Center of Excellence is about 1 million a year. Yet the impact might be more strategic, but when I look around the countries, very few invest in these capabilities. What you as a president would see necessary to change, to have an awareness of need also investing in these non-tank cognitive warfare tools that would be essential to actually making any sort of a decision to employ the tank?
Well, frankly, I think that it's getting better. Why? Because slowly but surely governments are understanding that things are changing. That's why the government decided to invest 1 million euros in NATO StratCom capabilities. That's why the government also established, and it was also decided by the National Security Council to support the establishment of the National Artificial Intelligence Center that is actually designed for 2 or 3 purposes. Number one, of course, to develop our own AI capabilities. Number two, to support the defense industry as much as we can. And number three, also to be as a kind of expertise platform to address those challenges that we see online, be it electoral campaigns and so on. So from that point of view, I would say that also if you look at decisions in the United States, I think that it was $500 billion that have been decided by the US administration to be invested in AI capabilities. We had a very good AI summit in Paris in February. The European Union has been taking also that seriously, so the movement is there. The trouble is that I still have a feeling, and with all due respect to civil servants and to bureaucracy, this is still a kind of game. Who is going to lead? let's say, the free enterprise or bureaucracy. And in the European Union, unfortunately, we know what we have as to very serious obstacles. One is, like it or not, GDPR, or all the privacy rules, and number two, overregulation. So, from that point of view, I would say that there is a progress, but still, when you speak also with your generals, they are still more interested in buying tanks, which is understandable. They have been trained for that. They are not so much understanding where AI is, but then again, learning from Ukraine, learning from the experiences from drone warfare, we have seen actually that within a couple of months, the whole industry must change all over again, because things are actually changing on the battlefront, and actually the use of AI is increasing as we speak. All the operations that we have seen lately have been conducted basically also thanks to a very good use of AI, but it will take time completely to find the right balance between the kind of traditional warfare, which is not fading away, and also how we invent also the new techniques and how we are also going to implement them.